Once you reach the hook point, there's a certain shift that happens in the interaction, okay? It kind of goes from you going up and doing 90% of the work, like talking, setting the rhythm, getting her to react to you, being at the cause, not at the effect, to a more sustainable 50-50 type of vibe, okay? Where now she's actually talking back and you can react to her, okay? It's not just you doing and doing and doing, like I'm setting the rhythm, I'm doing this, button push, button push, button push. It actually turns into a real interaction where you're both building the vibe together, reacting off of each other. So when you reach that hook point, just remember to slow things down, like humanize yourself, give her the chance to actually talk back, okay, versus you just talking at her, and turn the interaction into that vibe where you're just self-amusing, like doing your own thing, and she is chasing you.
For your girlfriend, or?
No, well, no, my girlfriend's too naive to even know what's happening.
So wait, where do you live?
So the first thing that you need to do, as simple as it sounds, is stop setting the rhythm of the interaction. Okay, when you reach that hook point, and I'm talking about the sexual hook point here, when you get the anime Bambi eyes, the trying for opportunity, you see the girl just light up. It transitions from that, oh yeah, how's it going, to, oh what? Slow things down. Too much of something is always bad. Okay, if we take setting the rhythm of the interaction as an example, say you go in and you're just at the cause, not at the effect, you're doing, you're just very purposeful, what is the girl going to be experiencing? She's probably going to be like, oh shit, like sex worthiness. Here's a guy who's on his path and purpose, he's bringing me into his reality. Awesome. Okay, I'm getting attracted. But let's just say you just keep on doing and 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 doing. What's going to happen? It's going to shift from being sex-worthy to being very reactive and insecure. She's not going to be thinking, oh shit, here's a guy who's bringing me into his reality, like at the cause, not the effect. She's going to be thinking, oh shit, here's a guy who can't fucking slow down. Here's a guy who doesn't realize that he's past the hook point. He doesn't realize that, look, I'm getting attracted, I like him, you're good. He can't see that, and he starts just selling himself. It's like, oh, he's insecure, he can't be normal, he can't accept that I like him. He's trying to keep on proving himself, and he's just ultimately coming from a very inferior frame of mind. Okay, it's like, oh, he is not the prize anymore. He is not that guy that I can win over. This is just pathetic, and she'll bounce the fuck out. And as simple as this sounds, it's actually a lot harder to do than you would expect. Okay, if you're going up and you're just setting the rhythm, you're just doing, and the girl's just absolutely loving it, why would you stop? Okay, what are your emotions going to tell you? They're like, dude, she's loving it. Keep doing whatever the fuck you're doing. She is getting turned on. Do. And you have to go against those emotional urges. You're gonna have to be like, no, be smart about it. If I keep on doing, again, too much of one thing is going to fuck shit up. It's gonna turn into that insecurity. She's not gonna be able to relate, and you're gonna fuck shit up. So stop and slow down and go against those emotions. So the best analogy I have to, illustrate this concept here is what I like to call the drug dealer analogy. Okay, now, as fucked up as that may sound, let's just imagine right now, for the sake of argument, that you're a drug dealer and you're going up to the girl to give her hits of heroin. Now, what happens if you walk up and you're just like, hit, the girl's gonna overdose and die. Okay, it's just too much, it's unsustainable, it's like you going up and like setting the fucking rhythm, it's like, whoa, it's not an interaction anymore, it's just, again, way too overwhelming, she can't relate, and it's just too insecure and forceful. So you don't want to do that. If you're smart about it, you're gonna walk up to the girl, give her a few hits until she's hooked on the heroin, or set the rhythm until she's hooked on you, and then take it away. And then just start giving her a hit every once in a while, giving some time in between, and just making it a lot more sustainable. Okay? Not only will you be able to just keep her on heroin for a long period of time, she's gonna start chasing it and wanting it. And you'll notice this in terms of setting the rhythm. You go in, you do, you hook the girl, you withdraw. Then, boom, a little spike here and there, boom, a little spike here and there, and you can make it last, and the girl's still like getting turned on. And again, the more time she's getting turned on, the more that body temperature goes up, which is good, and she's gonna start just getting addicted to it, and ultimately addicted to you. Okay, so keep that analogy in mind when going up and setting the rhythm and passing the hook point. So what you have to realize about vibing is that it's not about having any kind of logical conversation. Okay, there is no real purpose to it other than just building a great vibe with the girl. Just making it a great experience for the both of you to share. Okay, that's it. It's not about having a conversation where you're trying to impress the girl. It's not about having a conversation where you have an agenda in mind and you're just trying to get somewhere. It's like, what? I open, I hook, and now I'm vibing. And then what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? You go in and you're like spike, 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 spike. Okay, remember the drug dealer analogy where you're just like doing way too much and you're basically trying to move the interaction vertically. It's like more attraction, more attraction, more attraction, more attraction, which is the worst frame of mind to come from ever. Okay, the way you should view it is, again, you spike it till the girl starts emotionally investing. You pass that sexual hook points, and then you just trust that because she's emotionally investing, time will just do the work for you. Okay, you don't need to move it vertically. It's like you move it enough to sustain it horizontally. Okay, it's like, what? She's emotionally investing. It's all good. You assume it's going to happen and you just let go. Okay, you step out of that agenda-based mindset where it's like the next step and you just relax and just kind of bask and just build the interaction together. So next time you're out and you ask yourself, what is the next step? What do I do next? Okay, which is a very common concern, with a lot of guys. It's like, well, what do I say next? What do I do next? They just freak out. I want you to rephrase it and just tell yourself instead, keep doing whatever you're doing. Okay, as long as you've passed that sexual hook point and the girl is emotionally investing, she has like the anime eyes, she has the Bambi eyes, she's talking in that trying for a poor tonality, she is getting attracted and you're good enough. Okay, why are you trying to force more attraction? Remember, girls are like a volume knob, okay, where they need a lot more time to be ready for sex, to get turned on, okay, for their bind temperature to go up, versus guys who are more like a light switch. Okay, we see the girl, okay, boner, ready to fuck her, good to go. Girls are not like that, and if you just keep trying to force, it's ultimately going to stifle them. They won't be able to relate, and it's just not going to work. Okay, so as long as she's getting attracted, keep her in that same state for a longer period of time. Okay, so instead of what do I do next, tell yourself more of the same. Okay, that's it. Just keep doing what you're doing, more of the same. Now, don't confuse this with hooking. Okay, remember when I'm like, too much of one thing is bad, where, for example, if you're setting the rhythm, it just kind of transition into being very insecure, okay, trying to sell yourself. What I mean by more of the same here is just keep that same vibe where she's emotionally investing and getting attracted going. Okay, guys are really good at this. They basically do a few simple things over and over and over again, and that keeps them entertained, that keeps them engaged. Okay, for example, if I go up to a girl, a lot of my interactions pretty much just look like this. Okay, I'm gonna walk up, I'll start chatting, then I might do like a little push, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh my God, you can't say that. I'm like, I'm just kidding. Chat, 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 chat. Push, oh my God, I'm just kidding. Chat, 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 chat. Push, oh my God, I'm just kidding. Chat, 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 chat. And I just do that on repeat. Okay, it's like chat, 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 spike. Chat, 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 spike. Okay, as long as it's like, again, drug hit. Okay, as long as it's maintaining that emotional investment, I'm good. I'm just like more of the same. And with time, okay, because what I'm doing is also putting the pressure on, taking the pressure off, it's like ready for sex. That's it. I'm not doing anything more. Whatever actions, whatever verbal game I'm using is the same, and the only difference is more time, okay? The volume knob getting louder and louder and louder. The general mindset that I really come from when vibing is I just ask myself, what better place to be? Okay, what better place to be? Here I am talking to an attractive girl, I'm about to sleep with, and who knows where it'll go from there. Why am I trying to rush it? Okay, why am I not just enjoying the moments? Why am I trying to just quickly get to the finish line, quickly make things happen with her, and like maybe move on to the next? Okay, why am I like in that little scarce rat race mindset? It's like, no, it's gonna happen. I assume it, it's all good. Let's enjoy this, okay? Here I have a girl who's emotionally investing. She's listening and experiencing me fully. Okay, and this is very, very rare. Okay, really ask yourself, like right now, how many people really care to hear what you have to say? You know, if you have an opinion about something, who would really listen and pay attention? Okay, now you might have a few close friends who would be like, oh, that's really cool and listen to what you have to say. Maybe some family members, but there aren't that many people who really care. Okay, a lot of people are just very self-absorbed, and unless, again, you're really fucking close, it's not really gonna happen. Okay, people will still listen, like if you have an opinion, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's cool, but they won't really take it to heart. When the girl has passed the sexual hook point, she's taking everything to heart. Okay, and this is why it can also be a little, scary when talking to a girl, because when she's like, what? And she's fully paying attention to you, you're like, oh shit, like the spotlight's on you. You're like, what do I say? What do I do? It's like, no, embrace that. It's like, here she is, fully experiencing you. You're actually influencing someone. Okay, you're touching someone's soul. Enjoy that. Okay, sex is just the bonus. It's assumed. It's like, you know what? Sex is gonna happen no matter what. Enjoy building the vibe with this girl, enjoy having her react off of you, enjoy reacting off of her. Okay, step out, really step out of that agenda-based mindset. Okay, imagine I just walked up to you and I'm like, listen, here's a contract saying that you're gonna sleep with this girl no matter what tonight or today, no matter what, but you have to talk to her for like 45 minutes to an hour and a half, but you're gonna sleep with her. Now once you accept that, you'll be like, you know what, you're right. There's no more little worry of quickly rushing to it. You're like, I'm gonna sleep with her, and you actually start viewing her as a human being and just enjoying each other's company. Okay, so really take on that mindset with vibing. The girl's a human being, not a little robot or a little machine where I'm like, button push, button push, button push. She's not a means to an end. She's someone I can just enjoy building this great vibe and just building this great experience that we can both share together. So we covered the general mindset you should be coming from in terms of vibing, okay? Not being agenda-based, where it's like, next step, next step, next step, to being a little bit more all over the place, a little less logical, just really focused on building the vibe just for the sake of building the vibe. But there are, of course, some specific things you're gonna wanna be doing throughout this phase of the interaction as well. The first being building comfort, okay, or as I like to call it, creating togetherness. Now, there's a big misconception when it comes to building comfort with a girl, where a lot of guys think that to, build familiarity, to make the girl feel comfortable, it's about telling her logically about yourself. It's like the more she knows about me, the better. It's like this resume exchange where you walk up and you're like, look, this is my name. This is my age, this is my occupation, okay? This is my past, this is where I'm going with life. These are the names of my, mother and father. These are the names of my grandparents, my siblings, my friends. This is what I think, this is me, logical. And the more information you give her, the better, okay? And of course, vice versa. They're like, oh, if the girl talks, then she's telling things about herself, it's also building comfort. So where did you buy your dress? And the girl's talking about her dress. And usually if she does that, she's not really emotionally investing. She's like, well, I got it at the store. And you're like, oh, really? What store? That one there. That's awesome. So do you wear the dress often? I guess. She's talking back. It's building comfort. Wrong. Okay? That is not what comfort is about. That there is only focusing on the superficial, logical, verbal layer, when remember, what are girls focused on? The deeper emotional layer, okay, the sub-communications, if you will. So instead of viewing it like this resume exchange, what comfort is basically creating togetherness, okay, reinforcing that it's you and the girl as one, okay, like together, as opposed to being separate entities, okay, and this is not necessarily done through, again, logical talk. To illustrate this, let's just say that you and me, one day we decide to go on this day-long hike. Okay, and let's just say we never met and we know nothing about each other. Okay, complete strangers. We meet in the morning. We're like, look, we're gonna do this hike, and let's just say it's a really dangerous hike. And we just embark on the hike, and we're like falling off cliffs. Like helping each other through, going through all this bullshit together. But there's one condition, in terms of this hike, where basically the only thing throughout the day that we're allowed to talk about is the hike itself. Okay, we're not allowed to talk about anything else. I'm not allowed to ask you your name. You're not allowed to ask me my name. Okay, we're just allowed to talk about, oh, the trail is pretty nice here. Oh shit, don't fall off the cliff. Oh my God, this hike's really nice. Oh, the weather, it's kind of hot, it's kind of cold. That's the only thing we're allowed to talk about. Now, say we finish the hike and it's like the end of the day and we're just like, we made it. Even though we know nothing logically about each other, I don't even know your name, nothing at all, we will feel like, again, there is comfort. We will feel a lot more together, a lot more connected, because we went through all that bullshit together. Okay, and it's the same with the girl. It's not so much the topics or, again, the verbal exchange. It's about you and her going through all this bullshit, okay, going through the interaction together, reinforcing that togetherness. So the first step to doing this is to isolate the girl. Okay, basically put yourself in a position where it's just you and her one-on-one. Okay, this is why I previously mentioned, if you talk to a girl with her friends, just do the bare minimum so that the friends like you, but then bounce back on the girl. Okay, don't waste time talking to the friends. It's you and her. Okay, you are now a team, you are together, and you want to reinforce that little bubble where you're closed off from everything else. Okay, it's not you, her, and her friends. It's not you, her, and your friends. It's just the two of you alone. So you can do this, once you hook, by just dragging her away. Okay, now you could give her a reason, like, let's just go over here. I want to check out the outside area. Or let's go to the bar, get some water. Or just come over here. Or actually not even say anything at all and just lead. Just be like, come. Boom, just being very certain, like dragging her away in a little area of the environment where no one else is there that she knows or that you know. Or more simply, just turning her away from her friends. Okay, it's as simple as that. A girl's reality is basically what she sees. Okay, if she's talking to you and she kind of sees her friends in the background, it's a lot better than, of course, you, her, and the friends all together, but the friends are still in her reality. Now, if you just turn her away where she can't see any of her friends, it's as if they don't even exist. Okay, she just lives in the emotion of the moment. She's like, oh, right now, the friends are gone. The only person that's familiar is this guy here, and that reinforces togetherness a lot as well. Okay, so just turning her away from the friends, or just gradually moving so she just starts turning on her own. Okay, but you have to isolate her. That is the first step to creating togetherness. The next step is that you're going to want to move her through as many environments, topics, and emotions as humanly possible. Okay, basically reinforcing that you and her are the only constants. Okay, so for example, say you're talking to a girl, you're like, let's go to the bar. Let's go to the outside area. Let's go meet my friends. Let's go meet your friends. Let's go to the dance floor. Let's go sit over here for a little bit. Let's go to this corner. Let's go to that corner. And you just start continuously moving her around. What's happening? The environment is always changing. Okay, the environment's changing. It's like, oh, we're here now, we're here now, we're here now, we're here now. But what is remaining the same? You and the girl. Okay, it's us in all these different environments, okay? Together as one, okay? Going through all this bullshit, okay? The more environment she's in with you, the more comfortable she's going to feel with you. The same applies for what you talk about, okay? Like the different conversational topics, if you will. Now, this does kind of link into the resume exchange, but as you'll notice here, it's only a small portion of creating that togetherness, okay? Basically, the more topics you guys discuss together, it's like, now we're talking about this, now we're talking about that, now I'm cutting this thread, I'm introducing this thread, and this thread, and this thread, the more everything is changing and what's happening again, you and her are the only constants. The more emotions you go through as well, it's like now we're happy, now we're sad, now it's like push, pull, and all this emotional turmoil is continuously changing. What happens? You and her are the only constants. Okay, so that there is another way of, again, really amplifying that togetherness. And as a little side note, you can actually fuck with girls a little, like spike their emotions by quote unquote lying verbally while still creating comfort emotionally. Okay, for example, say I'm talking to a girl and she's like, I'm from Canada. I could be like, oh, cool, me too. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm from a small town, like Hampton, it's like 40 minutes east of Vancouver. She's like, oh, really? That's awesome. Me too. I'm like, yeah, I love Canada, best place ever. By the way, do you really like me right now? She's like, yeah, cool, because I lied, I'm not from Canada. Okay, now what happened there? Say I just said that right off the bat, right after saying hello. Basically, she realizes that everything we talked about up to now, verbally, has been a lie and just complete utter bullshit, but emotionally, because we went through that whole storyline together, she feels that togetherness. So she feels comfort without actually even knowing anything about me. Okay, and you can actually hold conversations like that where I have some pickups where I'm talking to girls and literally all the way through, we're just talking about all these different topics, but at the end, when I'm bringing her home, she knows nothing about me. She doesn't really know my name. She doesn't know what I do. She doesn't know where I live. She knows nothing, but emotionally, she feels like she does. Okay, so forget about the resume exchange. It's about that emotional togetherness.
I'm Canadian.
You are?
Ottawa.
Wow.
I hate it though. I try to lose my accent. Otherwise, like when I moved here, everyone's like, you sound like an American leprechaun. Like, especially if you're from Vancouver. It's like, Vancouver, your groceries, how is it going today? Do you hate me or do you love me right now?
No, I love you right now.
Okay, because I lied, I'm not from Canada.
Lastly, a few things that I personally love to do when vibing with women are the following. Conspiracy theories. Okay, this here is when you create a certain dynamic where it's you and the girl, like you and her as one together versus the world. Okay, where you basically have like this little secret or this little inside joke that no one else knows about. Okay, for example, you could take the girl, just walk up to a stranger and just be like, hey, this is my sister. Make out, and then turn back to the stranger and be like, yeah, we're very close. Okay, now that person doesn't know that you're lying, but you two are like in on this little secret. You're in on pretending that you're brother and sister, and that there consolidates that togetherness. Okay, it's like you are now a team. You can do this when you meet the girl's friends. You're like, yeah, I've known her for years. We went to high school together. We dissected a frog together, whatever you want to say. Basically, again, being in on something together that the friends don't know about. Funny enough, you can also do this just by pointing and talking about other people in the environment. Okay, there was this old school game back in the day that people played called Fuck, Marry, Kill. Okay, we basically had to point at 3 people in the environment and just be like, okay, who would you fuck, who would you marry, who would you kill? And then you and the girl are looking through the crowd and be like, oh, I'd fuck that person, I'd marry that person, I'd kill that person. Now what's happening there, you and the girl, as bad as it sounds, are both judging those people together. It's like, oh, what do you think of that person? Would you fuck him? Would you marry him? Would you kill him? Oh, I don't know. And again, it's like those little secrets, you're in on it together, and it reinforces that togetherness. Okay, so this is what we call conspiracy theories.
We've known each other for years, so I hope I'm making a great impression on the company.
You are.
Next up is role playing. Now, what I love about role playing is it allows you, but most importantly the girl, to take on certain personas and act through those personas without any of the consequences. For example, my personal favorite, just calling the girl my girlfriend. Like, oh yeah, girlfriend, blah, 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 girlfriend. Okay, an easy way to introduce this is just being like, you know what? Be my girlfriend for the next 5 minutes. Done. Now, this girl obviously knows, you're not boyfriend and girlfriend. She's not gonna be like, oh, what? Are we boyfriend and girlfriend already? What? She knows it's a role play, but what does this do? First of all, it reinforces again that you're in this together. Okay, it's like, look, it's me and you right now, boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, it draws the attention on you and the girl, and unlike the conspiracy theory where it's you and the girl and it's kind of focused on other people, with your little secret or inside joke, here it takes the attention off of the other people and it just brings it in on you and the girl in that little bubble. It's like me and you, boyfriend, girlfriend. This is all that matters. Boyfriend, girlfriend. Focus on me and you. Now, it's also great with this frame where, again, your boyfriend and girlfriend, is it allows her to take on that identity or that persona, of being your girlfriend without seeming like a slut. Now you're allowed to be all lovey-dovey. You're allowed to tell her, you know what, I love you, to be physical, and she can be physical in return. And it's not her, it's the girlfriend persona. Okay, so she's allowed to just open up and just take on that role with you. You can also make these a little bit more comedic, like, you know what? I'm adopting you. You're my little sister from now on. Brother, sister, you and me. Do you like your brother? Do you like your older brother? You can also make it a little bit more creepy, like, you know what? I'm adopting you. Call me daddy. She's like, what? I'm like, yes, say daddy. I'm 12. And she'll be like, oh my God. And you can kind of like emotionally spike her that way, or make her invest, which I'll cover in a later portion of this vibing segment. But role playing is very, very key and something that you should kind of play around with when vibing with the girl.
Say daddy, can I have the phone number? And just bark, like, phone number now. Do it.
Daddy, can I have your phone number?
Another one is future projections, okay? Where basically you project yourself and the girl together in the future. Like, you know what? We're gonna do this together, and we're gonna go, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and this is gonna happen, and we're gonna do this, and this, and this, and we're gonna do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And what happens? You find yourself with the girl, picturing yourselves together, thinking about yourselves together in the future. Now you can make these a little bit more serious, like, oh, you know what, we should go for coffee tomorrow. Or, oh, you know what, we should hang out later, have some drinks, go to an after party, grab some food later tonight. Okay, and actually even precede the poll that way, which I'll cover in a later section. Or you can make these a little bit more crazy, a little bit more adventurous, where it's like, you know what, we should go skydiving together. Or like, you know what, we're gonna go to Vegas and we're gonna get married. Even combine it with the role play. You are my new wife, I'm your new husband. Let's go pretend we're already married with this people here and even bring in the conspiracy theory. Okay, and make them a little bit more crazy that way. Basically projecting yourself with the girl in the future. And the last one, and this is probably my all-time favorite, is introducing hypothetical scenarios. Okay, like saying something along the lines of, what would you do if, and would you ever? Okay, like what would you do if you met a guy and say you went home with him right now and you're about to sleep with him and right before sex, he takes his pants off and you see that he has a really small dick. Would you say something or would you just take it? And the girl's like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Okay, well what if he asks you, like, you know what, is it too small? Is it too small? Would you tell him the truth or would you lie? I don't know. Okay, well listen, would you ever date a guy who's straight during the day but gay at night? I'm not sure. Okay, well listen, would you ever date a guy who say every time you sleep with him right before coming, he's like, look, in order for me to come, I have to look at myself in the mirror. Would you still date him? Maybe, no, yeah. Okay, well listen, what if on top of that, he carried this little portable mirror and every time he's sleeping with you, he's like, listen babe, I'm gonna come. And he looks in the mirror in order to come. Would you date him? I don't know. Okay, like what would you do if, would you ever? Now, what's cool about these is first of all, you can make them pretty ridiculous. Like what about the small dick? Or what about, being gay at night in his dreams, but straight during the day? Okay, you can introduce all these sexual topics without taking responsibility for them. Okay, and this is the beauty of it. It's like, how do you want to get away with, say, calling a girl a cunt without her being mad at you in the first 5 seconds? Basically use a hypothetical scenario. It's like you walk up, you're like, hey, I'm Julian, nice to meet you. You know what would you do if you just met a guy who walked up and just said, cunt, right off the bat? Would you be mad? Now, can she get mad at you? No, because you're not the one who said it. You're like, what would you do if someone said that? And this is the beauty of using hypothetical scenarios, is that first of all, it still has the same effect. She's like, oh my God, cunt, what the fuck? But she can't blame you for it. Okay, you can't be held accountable, you can't take responsibility for it because it's hypothetical. Okay, and this allows you to introduce wacky, extreme topics like sex. Like what would you do if you met a guy and every time he had to come, he looked at himself in the mirror? Would you date him? She's like, oh my God, sex. Okay, and she can't be like, but we just met, what the fuck? How are we talking about sex? Because it's hypothetical. So you can introduce that fast. And secondly, in terms of togetherness, what does it do? It's like you and her together, basically looking at all these different scenarios, analyzing the possible outcomes. Okay, so it's like you are the judges. And thirdly, who is she picturing when you're talking about sex? When you're like, you know what, would you ever go home with a guy right now and say you fucked him? Would you do it? She's picturing you. She's not gonna picture some random guy. Okay, if she's emotionally investing you past the hook point, she's like, oh, I'm going home with this guy. And it kind of links in the whole future projections, sex, man to woman, everything all at once. And it spikes her emotions the more ridiculous it is. I love using this. Try them out now.
Have you ever met a guy and like say you like you're about to sleep with him and he just takes his pants off, and what if it was like this? Would you say something? Like, oh, I can't.
As happened to me.
What did you do?
I had sex with him anyway.
You did it?
I had to.
Did you say, use your hands, I'm not feeling anything?
No.
You just took
he
it.
was so sweet.
Did you tell him it's like sitting on a chewing gum?
No.
I get that all the time.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Why? Why?
So
So you were like, oh, it's so big, baby. Oh my God.
I didn't say that.
Oh my God, baby, I've never seen such
No,
a
no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No?
When vibing, it's also important that you qualify the girl, okay? Basically in an interaction, similar to the balance between pressure on and pressure off, which we discussed when talking about social intuition, there is another dynamic at play, which is the balance between value and qualification, okay? And as with everything, it has to be both. Too much value and not enough qualification is bad, and too much qualification and not enough value is bad as well, okay? Everything is a balance. So up to now, we've really focused on the value side of things. It's like you go in, you're fucking sex worthy, okay? It's like get the girl to emotionally invest. You set the frame from the start, you're man to woman, you're just very purposeful, you're on your path and purpose, setting the rhythm, doing your thing, getting her to react to you, you're physical, you're looking at her dead in the eye, you're passing all the tests, you hook the girl, she's like, holy shit, here is a guy that I want to fuck, okay? Emotionally investing, but that isn't enough. Okay, you have to make it relatable to the girl, and you do this by qualifying her. Ultimately, letting her know what makes her so goddamn special. Like why the fuck would such a sex-worthy guy take interest in her? Okay, because that's really what she's thinking. If you roll up and you're just purposeful, controlled, flowing, self-amused, you just pass the test, you're like, this is me, unapologetic, she's gonna be like, holy shit, this guy is the shit. This is the guy I've been waiting to meet my entire life. This is the guy I want to fuck. This is the guy I want to marry. This is the guy I want to have fucking kids with. Like, oh my fucking God. But why would such a cool sex-worthy guy take interest in little old me? Why does he like me? What makes me so special? This guy, if he really is this cool, could have any other fucking girl here. Okay, why me? And if you don't let her know why, okay, or you don't qualify her, she's either going to assume that you just want her for sex. Okay, it's like, well, he doesn't really care about me. He just likes me for my looks. He just wants to fuck, okay? And if he just wants to fuck me for my looks, he would do this to any girl here. And this makes me feel extremely uncomfortable. This makes me feel like a slut. No. Okay, and she will blow you off. Nothing's going to happen. Or she'll assume that there's something a little off. She's like, wait a minute, like if this guy just likes me so easily and he knows nothing about me and there's no reasons why, it's either that I'm a slut or that, this guy's actually not that cool. Something's a little bit off and it's not gonna work either. So you have to slow things down from the whole fun, value, I'm the shit, I am sex worthy, to a more relaxed pace. You can be a little bit more real. You can actually connect with her. You cement yourself in her reality as a real person, not just some like fun, crazy emotion. You're like, look, I'm actually normal, just like you. I actually like you for these specific reasons. I'm a little vulnerable as well. I might open up, share something with you. Like, this is why it's so special between us, and qualify her that way. Doing this will massively reduce last-minute resistance, okay, which basically is when you bring the girl home, you're about to sleep with her, and she's like, no, okay, no, because I just don't feel comfortable, and no, I never do this, and no, and no matter how many fucking excuses you find the solution to, she'll still say no, and you won't sleep with her, okay? It's not like those nice and easy pulls as well as flaking, okay? When you get the phone number and then you just go to call her up to see her again, and she just doesn't answer or just never shows up, okay? If those are your problems, it's because you didn't qualify her. So how do you do this? The first way, and this is my personal favorites, is through the emotionally unexplained, okay? Like, don't freak out when you hear, you have to qualify the girl and give her specific reasons why you like her, and then you're freaking out, you're like, oh my God, I have to find the reasons, the specific reasons, these specific girls, what about this girl, am I gonna say that I like? Relax, okay? It doesn't have to be that complex. Just use the emotionally unexplained. Just be like, you know what? I like you. It's weird. I don't know why. As simple as that. You just acknowledge the fact that she stands out. You acknowledge the fact that you actually like her, and you just blame the emotionally unexplained. It's like, wow, it's so weird. Like, I don't know. It's weird. As simple as that. You know what? I really like you. Like, I don't know what it is about you, but there's just something. And she'll be like, I know, right? There is something. I'm like, yeah, it's so special. Like, you and me, it's special. It's just, it's weird. Like, oh, I don't know why. I don't know why. It's emotionally unexplained. Bang. And you got her, and you just qualify her through that. Okay, so that is the easiest way, like, start spicing that in your interactions, okay? Why do you like her? You don't know why, but you just do. Now, if you want to take it a little further, you can also use commonalities. Okay, this is what most people focus on. It's like, oh, what do me and her have in common? And they start trying to decipher that puzzle. Again, don't take it that far. Ultimately, you can just pick the dumbest thing ever. It's like, oh, you're from Los Angeles as well? We have so much in common. It's like, oh, you also use Facebook? Me too. We have so much in common. Okay, and you just overblow something that you like. Okay, she could like the color blue. You're like, really? That's fucking awesome. Oh, you're from LA? That is so cool. I always wanted to meet someone who's like, true LA. That's actually really fucking cool. I actually really like you. It's weird, and like combine the two. Now, what's fun as well is when you overblow something very basic, like say she loves the color blue, you're like, oh my God, the color blue. You can kind of turn it into this inside joke where you kind of link back to it throughout the interaction. It's like, what? I really like you. It's that color blue. I just really love that color blue. And that also kind of transitions into the togetherness of it all. Okay, it's like, oh, we have this little inside joke. We're a team now, and we have so much in common. And that means that I'm special and there's something here. Okay, so you can also touch on commonalities. You can make them complex and genuine, or just anything that you just like about her. Just pick one, overblow it, and qualify her that way. Another way that we previously touched upon when talking about togetherness is future projections. Okay, where basically you and the girl future project yourselves, this time in a more chill, down-to-earth, real environment. Okay, for example, we should have coffee sometime. Like, we should hang out during the day sometime. Okay, basically get her thinking of you and her in a more real environment. Like talking over coffee where now you're a real person, or hanging out during the day and stepping away from all the craziness. Okay, because this can happen a lot when you just go in, you're just very like, I'm the shit, I'm sex worthy. She's like, oh my God, this guy is so fucking cool. She's laughing, she's emotionally investing, but when you leave, she doesn't remember that much about you. She doesn't really even view you as a real person. You kind of become this cool emotion. Okay, she's like, oh, this guy was so cool. It was like a fun little moment of the night. It was like a cool song playing, and you're not like very, humanized. Okay, you didn't really cement yourself like, look, we had fun. I know, you emotionally react very well, but look, I'm also actually real. I'm someone you could actually, introduce to your friends, introduce to your parents. We could have a normal conversation. I'm now this person here. Okay, so future projections helps a lot with that. Showing vulnerability or sharing something very personal with the girl has the same effect as well, where you're like, look, I don't usually tell this to people, but when I was a kid, this happened to me. Or like, what? I don't know if I should tell you this. It kind of makes me seem like a little nerdy. It's a little embarrassing, but ... Okay, whatever you may want to say. Basically sharing like a little secret. It's like, listen, I like you so much, and it's so special between us that I feel like I can just open up with you. And I feel like I can just tell you anything. I can just share everything. I can be real with you. Okay, that is a great way. It's like, look, I can just be real and make it vulnerable. Like share something that kind of, humanizes you. It's like, look, when I was a kid, and this is actually a true story, I had like this little rabbit, and he was like my best friend, or like when I was a kid, this happened, or like, what? I don't usually tell this to people. It's kind of a secret. It's kind of embarrassing, but I really like these movies, or if you're into video games, you could be like, what? I'm actually a huge nerd for video games. I know it's nerdy, I know it's quirky, but I just thought that you should know. Okay, basically opening up to the girl. She's like, wow, this guy must really like me. Okay, I'm not like the next fucking broad. I'm not like another little number on the list. This is actually a special moment. It's something different, and he realizes that, and he can actually be real. Okay, so like opening up with the girl helps qualify her as well. The frame you should come from when qualifying the girl is making her feel like she's winning you over. Okay, remember, no girl is ever going to value a guy that's just like given to her. She's like, whoa, if I don't have to put any fucking work in this guy, he must be worthless. Because if he were sex worthy, I would win that guy over. Okay, she wants the wild stallion she can tame. Okay, she wants to be like, what? I'm putting in the work, and the more I put in the work, the more I get the guy to qualify me, the more I see his real personality, the more he opens up, and the more I hook him, okay? The more he becomes hooked. And this is very important as well. When qualifying the girl, basically, you have to be hooked by her and show her that. Okay, so remember, when you go in, you're like fun, 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 fun. the girl sees that you're on your purpose, you're on your path, you're doing your own thing, you're self-amusing, you're on top of the 4 pillars, she becomes hooked, okay, like the anime eyes, trying for opportunity. She's like, oh my God, okay, emotionally investing, but you have to do so as well. You're like, fun, fun, fun. There's something different about this girl. Anime eyes a bit, Megan Fox, you're like, wait. You know, I was gonna keep on going on my purpose and path. I was gonna keep having fun, but let's just see 1 second. This girl is a little different than the rest. You know, there's something special here. There's something I like about you. Boom. And you're hooked, and that is ultimately qualifying the girl. Now, don't overdo this, okay? Remember, too much of something is always bad. If you're just like, you know what? Qualify the girl, and you just focus on that. You're like, listen, I really like you. It's so different with you. Oh my God, here's another secret about me. Here's another secret about me. Here's me opening up. Here's me being vulnerable. I like you, I like you, I like you. She's gonna be like, whoa. This guy clearly forgot about the value side of things. Okay, remember, it's always a balance. Okay, value, qualification, it has to be the two. He's a little too focused on the qualification side of things, and he has now become the provider. Okay, that's how you should view it. Value is pretty much the lover. It's like, fun, I'm the shit, I do what I want. Qualification is the provider. And if you just do qualification, she'll be like, done. So how I personally do it is I go in as being the lover. You know, I focus on the value side of things at first. I'm like, look, I'm the shit, I'm sex worthy. You know, I pass all the tests. I just go in really fucking strong. And as the interaction progresses, okay, the more the girl starts chasing, the more she starts investing, okay, and we're about to cover this, the more I reward that investment with little glimpses of being the provider, okay, little glimpses of qualification just sprinkled in. Okay, it's like, look, you're gradually winning me over. The more you invest, the more I qualify. And that's every girl's dream, okay? Every girl wants the lover. She wants like the cool guy. She's like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. I want to fuck him. He has so much value. He's the alpha guy. But she doesn't really want him to stay the alpha guy because otherwise he'll go fuck other girls. She wants the alpha guy she can win over and basically transform into being a provider. And what makes him transform? What makes him open up? What makes him, oh my God, spill his guts to the girl? Her, so there's that nice codependence, and she ultimately reeled him in, she hooked him. Okay, so that's the impression you want to give. That's ultimately the frame of mind you should come from in qualifying the girl. And as a last little side note, by doing this, okay, like being the lover in general, with little glimpses of being the provider, after sex, you can pretty much take the interaction in whichever direction you want. If you want to keep her as like a fuck buddy, you didn't mismanage the expectations because you're a lover overall. You're like, look, it was all fun and games. You're now my fuck buddy. You didn't expect me to be my girlfriend, did you? Look, it was fun. We were having fun. I'm the fucking, you know, lover. But if you do decide to make her your girlfriend, you can as well, because there's those glimpses of being the provider. It's not out of the blue. You didn't mismanage the expectations. You weren't like, fun, fun, fun. By the way, girlfriend? It's a little bit more expected because you planted those seeds. Okay, so general frame of mind, I'm the lover. I focus on the value. And the more she invests, the more the interaction progresses. There's little glimpses of qualification, glimpses of being the provider, and that is the best way to frame your interactions. Now, linking this back to the whole like, make her feel like she's winning you over, it's important that during the vibing phase, you reinforce that she is the one chasing you. She is the one doing the work. She is the one, again, winning you the fuck over. Now, this will naturally happen the more you self-amuse. You know, you're in your own little party, you're gaming yourself, it's your reality. You're like, look at me, I'm so fucking awesome. My actions pump me up, not your little reactions. And she's gonna wanna join that party. Okay, it's not you going up trying to take value, trying to join hers. She's trying to join yours. She will naturally start doing the work. She's gonna be the one asking the questions. She's gonna be like, you know what is your name? Oh my God, what do you do? Oh my God, what is your phone number? And start investing that way. But this is something that has to happen, and there are some ways that you can amplify it.
Give me your phone number.
Beg for it.
So the first thing that you need to do is give her room to chase. Okay, as simple as that. Just give her fucking room. Okay, remember, we talked about switching away from the 90%, 10% and making it more 50-50. Don't get caught up in just doing and doing and doing. You know, it's so funny to see this. Guys always assume that girls will just leave if they stop doing something. And just because they keep on doing, the girl wants to chase, but she just doesn't have the opportunity to do so. Okay, for example, say you're just like leaning in. You're like, oh, hey, what's up? How's it going? If you're there, how do you want her to lean in? She can't physically do it. If you're just talking, sometimes the girl's gonna wanna talk back, but you don't give her those little breaks in the interaction. There are no lulls, there are no opportunities for her to start chasing or talking back. Okay, so start giving her those opportunities. Start slowing down, start just doing little pauses. Now, the way that I do them is I'm just talking, and if I pause, I won't just be like, I'll just stop. And instead of being like all oblivious, I'll stare at her dead in the eye and just be like, kind of like expectant, like, look, it's your turn to partake in this interaction. This isn't a one-man show. Here, you can join the fun. Now, you don't have to, I don't need you to, but let's see what you got. Okay, like that is the frame of mind. If I'm talking to her, I'll go in, but then I'll also, pull out. Okay, pressure on, pressure off. I'll give her the opportunity to lean into me. If she can't understand what I'm saying, I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. She'll be like, what? Start leaning in. You have to give her room. Okay, simple as that. That is step 1. Step 2 is accentuating that change in pace. Okay, like really making it clear that it switches from 90-10 to 50-50. Now, what are some ways of doing that? Playful takeaways. Now, what are takeaways? Basically, you could just be talking to the girl and say you ask her a question, she responds. No matter what her response is, you can just be like, you know what? I can't talk to you anymore. And just turn your fucking back on her. Okay, like pretend like you're about to leave. Now, first you want to playfully do it. Okay, not all serious, like, I can't talk to you, like butt hurts. Okay, whenever you're introducing a new type of dynamic, it's always important to playfully introduce it at first, and then you can kind of switch into a more serious takeaway where she's like begging, and really like putting herself on the line to like keep you there. But at first it's like just very playful, like, oh, I can't talk to you. And it kind of reinforces like, you know what? Playfully chase me back. And she'll be like, no, I'm sorry, why can't you talk to me? Or like, oh, I was just kidding. Okay, takeaways, very important to do so, and don't freak out. Okay, like a lot of guys don't do this because they think that if they do the takeaway, the girl's just gonna stand there. Now, that can happen, okay, and if it does, again, don't fucking freak out. An easy way to flip it around is just like, do the takeaway, and as soon as you sense she's not gonna chase, either turn back and be like, I'm just kidding, and keep on talking, or flip the script on her. You can turn back and be like, hey, you're supposed to fight for me. Why are you fighting for me? Fight for me. Okay, playfully doing so. Don't be all butthurt, like, fight for me. But introduce it that way. Be like, fight for me. It's like, hey, why are you chasing me? Like, you would really let me go? What the fuck? Okay, playfully start amplifying the I am the prize you are chasing and investing in me.
You really don't feel anything different, seriously, when you met me? You just think I'm like every other guy. Really? Whatever. No, it's fine.
No, I don't think you're like every other.
You can go if you want. Just
no,
go. You
stop.
just treat me like any other guy. Like, you just totally use me. No, it's go. Just go.
No,
I don't even
you
want
need to stop. You need to.
I'm done.
No, stop. You're
What?
not. I don't come back to every other
You just
guy.
like use me because you just like.
Are you out of
I
your
feel used
mind?
right now.
Are you out of your mind?
No, I'm
I
serious.
don't come back 5 times to some random guy.
So what's different about me then?
You're awesome.
Tell me. Like I can't do
What?
this.
That
I can't do this.
Stop. That you're funny and charismatic and you amuse me and you're a great kisser.
And tell me that I look like a Greek god as well.
You do.
So you're not using me? Can I trust you?
For what? What would I be using you for?
I don't know. I just feel like something's weird, like it's off about it. I don't know.
No.
And the third and final way of really amplifying that chasing effect is stripping the girl of validation and ultimately stacking it. So let's link this back to hooking. Remember when I was talking about playfully challenging the girl? That's really what tingles with her emotions. What sparks up that emotional investment, to help you reach the sexual hook point. We'll just call that level 1. Okay, like just playful challenges. Like, oh, you're 26? Interesting. Why is that interesting? Okay, even there she starts chasing a little bit. Now, to really hammer home the you are fucking chasing me, you can ultimately stack these little pushes. And this is level 2. So say you're like, you know what, you're 26 is very interesting. Or even better, say you kiss a girl and then you're like, oh, you know what, you're a horrible kisser. That's like a massive push. Now, basically what you're doing there is you're stripping her of validation. Okay, like girls always want to get like validated. They want their little social status to go up. If you're like, ugh, horrible kisser, she's like, what the fuck? And she's going to want to start chasing that validation. Okay, chasing your approval, trying to have her little comeback. Okay, there's a little need that's unfilled. Now, instead of giving her that opportunity, like, oh, you're a horrible kisser, what you gonna do about it? Like level 1, where she then has her little comeback. What you do here is you strip her of that opportunity. Now, you can either do this by quickly changing the topic, like say you're like, you know what, you're a horrible kisser. Anyway, what's your name? And then you just set the rhythm on what's your name, like, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Like, on to the next. Now she's on to the next, but there's still that need left unfilled. She's still like, oh, but he said it was a horrible kisser. I did on my comeback. Oh my God, oh my God. Chasing effect. And even better than moving on to the next topic, you cut the thread, okay? You take away that opportunity to get her validation back with another push. And you start stacking these little challenges and just stacking the stripping of validation. It's like, oh, how does it feel to know that you're a horrible kisser? And she's like, I'm not a horrible kisser. You know, this is this. And you're like, doubt it. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, look, I like you, but you know, it's still like you're just not that good. You're old as well. And you just keep on building and building and building, and she just starts chasing and chasing and chasing. Okay, it's like strip. She tries to have her come back, cut. Another strip, come back, cut, strip, and the need just keeps growing and growing and growing, really amplifying the sexual tension and really amplifying that, again, she is the one chasing you, put in all this work. There's like a massive challenge every time. Her emotions keep on building, and this here creates like a massive vacuum effect that really turns the girl on.
How does it feel to know, though, that you're a horrible kisser?
Dude, you just fucking grabbed my face in the middle of nothing.
I'm just asking, I'm just saying, how does it feel? Are you like, oh my God, shit. Maybe I'm the old way of kissing. I haven't learned the young way of kissing.
It's not about that. You just grabbed my face and I was like...
You gotta do worse.
No, I've never been told I was a bad kisser.
You're average, but I have low standards. It's fine.
I'm a great kisser.
You're old. No one ever to break your heart.
Well, we are each other's mirrors. So what we see in each other, we see in ourselves. So if you're saying that I'm old, you're seeing yourself.
I'm very old. I wish I was older. Because for a guy, the older you get, the better you are. For a girl, downhill.
Not for me. I just finished a 200-mile relay from Huntington Beach to San Diego.
You don't have to qualify yourself. You don't have to try so hard.
It's not that I'm trying. It's that I know that I just accomplished something.
You don't have to prove yourself. I like you. It's fine. It's like, like, baby, I did all this. It's like,
it's not about that. I just did something really great, and I feel as young as I want to be.
As young as a 12-year-old girl.
I'm as young as I want to be.
Say, I'm as young as a 12-year-old girl.
I don't want to be 12.
I love it. Say, Daddy, I'm 12.
No, 12 is not good. 12 is too young.
Do you ever watch The Vampire Diaries?
I have never.
Why?
It hasn't intrigued me.
I'm kind of afraid to kiss you again because it was so bad. I'm sorry. What's my name?
Your name is whatever I want you to be.
I forgot your name, so it's fine. But what's my name? What's your name? Tell me now. Please tell me now.
Now, there are two catches to this. The first one is that in order to pull this off, you do have to be sex-worthy in the first place, okay? Don't think that you can just go up to a girl completely out of it, just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and just start stacking the challenges. If you just do that, the girl is gonna get massively offended. She's gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? It's gonna seem try-hard, it's gonna seem mean, not playful at all, and she's just gonna freak the fuck out, okay? You do have to be sex-worthy in the first place, and you just sprinkle this on top of that. It's like, look, I'm cool, but to amplify the chasing effect, push, 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 stack, 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 stack. Okay, like this is the spice on top of the steak, if you will. The second catch is that once you start doing this, you have to be careful in terms of how you switch out of it. Because if you just start stacking, 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 and then you're like, you know what, she's attracted now, she's chasing me, you know what, I like you, and you start qualifying her that way, she's gonna get the validation that she was chasing, and she'll be like, oh, well, I got what I need now, peace out. And she'll just bounce the fuck out. So if you do take this to a more extreme level, the way that you qualify her is that you basically amplify the fact that you're emotionally overwhelmed, the fact that she is winning you over and you blame her for it. You're still pushing as you become emotionally overwhelmed. So for example, you just start stacking, 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 and then after a while you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that I like you. What are you doing to me? And you blame her for it. It's like, fuck, I hate this. Oh my God, I don't know why I like you. Emotionally overwhelmed, like, oh no, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God, oh my God. You start just like, fucking her that way. So that is the angle that you play if you really take it to a more extreme level without giving her what she needs before sex.
Yeah. Shit. Fuck you. You know what? Fuck you. Go. Leave me. What?
The reason it's so important to make the girl chase is because the more she chases, the more she invests in the interaction. Okay, and this brings us to our next concept, make her invest. Now this is something to keep in mind all throughout the interaction as well. The more the girl invests in you, the more the girl invests in the interaction, the more she's going to want a return on that investment. Okay, basically if the girl is, working to win you over or chasing you, she's not gonna want all that emotional effort to be in vain. Okay, if she's like chasing, qualifying herself, trying to get over the whole stripping and validation, the stacking and all that, and she's trying to tame that sex-worthy guy, that wild stallion, she's not gonna wanna fumble at the finish line. She's like, look, if I'm putting in all this effort and all this work into winning this guy over, it better be fucking worth it. Okay, she'll basically pass a certain point where she's invested so much that she's gonna want that return no matter what. Okay, so make her invest. Now, another important aspect when it comes to investment is realizing that a girl's level of compliance is always going to be proportionate to her level of investment. Okay, basically, the more she invests in the interaction, the more she invests in you, the more she'll be willing to comply to. For example, if you go up to a girl, you open her, and then you're like, you know what? Come meet my friends. And she's like, no. It doesn't mean no, I'm never gonna wanna fucking meet your friends. It just means no, my level of investment isn't there yet. Okay, what you're asking me to comply to, for me to do that, my level of investment needs to be here, and right now it's here. Okay, so in that case, no just means not yet. In which case you talk a little bit more, you make her invest a little bit more, and you try again later.
Come with me. Just don't embarrass me. I'm just go 1 block. Be my friend.
Why? Why you?
My favorite word too in German is Schweinchen.
No, I have 3 days to go.
Why? Adventure. You can live your boring life. I don't know. I'm just fucking around with my friend, but you don't have to walk with us. You can just leave us alone like a nobody. Just break my heart. Sad. By the way, come to Delano tonight.
Delano? It's good tonight? What's going on there?
You might be too old, but you can try. Come meet my friend though.
No, I have to die.
Schweinchen? Jetzt? 2 Minuten?
Habe ich sehr gefreut.
Okay, wait. Just shake his hand. I'll be super sad. Walk and just say hi. Actually, no. My other friend's from Germany too. Give me your phone number.
Okay, this is why when stopping a walking set, sometimes the hard stop just won't work. Because he's like, look, you're asking me to comply to just stopping, but I haven't invested anything yet. So when you walk with her and you give her that bigger sample of your personality, you're also basically making her invest just by spending more time with you. And then when you ask her to stop later on, she'll be more willing to comply to that because she's invested more. Now, linking this in to the interaction itself, when you're asking a girl to kiss you, when you're asking a girl to come home with you, you're asking her to comply to a lot. And trust me, in order for her to, do so, she's going to have to invest a lot as well. So what are some of the different ways of making her invest? The first one, and this is pretty much the one that we've covered up to now, is emotional investment. Okay, like getting her to emotionally invest. Now, how do you do that? The same as you would to pass a sexual hook point, just be man to woman. Okay, like walk up, laser eyes, breaking rapport tonality, being physical, just being very clear in your intentions, and then spiking that up with little playful challenges. Okay, like little pushes, that's level 1, or you can go level 2 where you start stacking those little pushes, stripping the girl of validation. That there will help you reach those anime eyes, that trying for rapport tonality, and the more she emotionally invests, the better. So that's the first one, emotional investment. The second one is time investment. Okay, basically the more time the girl spends with you, the more she's investing as well, because she doesn't have to necessarily acknowledge you. Okay, she could be doing anything else with her time, and the more she's there choosing to be with you, the more she's going to backwards rationalize that there's a reason she decided to spend so much time with you. She's like, look, if I just spend an hour with this guy, it's probably because he's worth it, and I don't want to have to waste that hour, you know, so I just better fuck him just to make that hour worth it. Okay, so the more time you spend, the better. Don't try to rush the interactions. Okay, like, of course, don't pause them, keep them moving forward, but this is why you shouldn't, you know, worry about stressing to get to the finish line. Just realize, like, look, time is your fucking ally. The more time you spend, the more she invests. The third one is forced investment. Okay, this is, for example, when you're talking to a girl and you're getting her phone number, you're like, listen, say, call me. She's like, why? Say it. And you just order her. It's like, force it. She's like, call me? And even though it doesn't necessarily mean anything, just by the fact that she's saying call me is a slight form of investment. And then you can wash, rinse, repeat this process where you're like, say it again, say call me, say you love me, and force investment that way. The fourth way is creating what I like to call windows of investment. For example, if you're talking to a girl and she's like, look, you know, I'm just hanging out with my friends tonight, you could be like, oh, you're with your friends? And slightly misinterpret it and be like, you know what, I don't want to hold you here if you don't want to. You know, like, you can go to your friends. Now, what are you doing? You're basically creating the opportunity for her to be like, oh, no, I like talking to you. I want to stay. Okay, basically putting herself on the line, risking potentially seeming like a slut, you know, and telling her that she likes you, and basically jumping through that window of investment. Now, funny enough, when you do this, you'll notice that girls will rarely say, I want to stay. They'll usually give you another reason, like, oh, no, my friends are having fun, it's fine. Or, oh, no, I'm waiting for my drink. Or, oh, you know, you're the one that brought me out here. You know, something along those lines, which is good as well. Okay, so create those windows of investment. Like, oh, you can go if you want to. You know, like, I don't want to hold you here. Or, oh, you know, anyway, it's like, you don't have to stay. Just things like that. Okay, give her those opportunities to invest. And the fifth one, and this is my personal favorite, investment hoops. So we talked about level 1, remember, with the playful challenges, you know, the little pushes in order to reach the emotional investment. We talked about level 2, where you stack these little pushes, you know, you stack the challenges, you stack the stripping of validation, which really amplifies the girl investing and chasing you. Level 3 is on top of all of that, you add investment hoops. Now, what is that? Basically, let's just say, for example, you're talking to a girl and you go in for a kiss. So you lean in to kiss the girl, she leans in as well, and let's just say that as soon as she does, you pull back. Okay, now what did you just do? Basically, you subtly gave that little push. You subtly stripped her of validation because she put herself on the line a bit, you know, leaning in, and then you pulled back. So there's basically that little unfilled need. Now, once you have something that she wants, aka, again, that need to complete the process of kissing you, instead of just going for it or, say, stacking with another little challenge, another little push, what you can do is add conditions. Add investment hoops. So, for example, it's like, oh, you want to kiss me? Is that the little need? You want to kiss me? Well, if you want to kiss me, call me master. Call me God. Beg for it. Get on your knees and beg. Okay, it's like all these little hoops that she now has to jump through. Now, when you say, you know what, call me master, remember what we talked about before, when you introduce something like that, make it playful at first. You're like, listen, call me master. You want it? Call me master. No, call me God. Okay, actually beg. Only if you beg. Only if you make like an animal sound. Okay, whatever you want to say. And basically, you baby step the process. So when you say master at first, the girl might be like, ugh, fuck no, I'm never going to call you master. But once you start escalating it, you're like, look, call me master, call me God, get on your knees, get on your knees, get on your knees. And she's like, I'm not getting on my fucking knees. You're like, fine, call me master then. In comparison to get on your knees, it's really not that big of a deal. And then she might do it at first. Now, she'll do it maybe playfully at first, but then you just keep reinforcing it. Okay, you wash, rinse, repeat until it becomes a little bit more serious, and then you baby step the process. Now, once she says master, it's going to be easier for her to say God versus say not say God, because she already took a step in that direction. And then you just keep building and building and building till you basically reach a point where she's invested so much that she'll have less to lose sleeping with you than leaving. Okay, for example, if a girl got on her knees, she's like, look, if I got on my fucking knees and I leave right now, I'm gonna seem like more of an idiot than if I fuck this guy. So you can kind of baby step the process that way, create little, investment hoops for her to jump through whenever you have something that she wants, whenever you have something that she needs. Okay, so making the girl invest, something that's very important all throughout the interaction, and something that you can amplify these 5 ways.
Why do you love me?
I don't know.
Tell me. It was nice meeting you. Bye forever. Did you cry if I just left?
I don't know what.
Beg, kiss me. Say master, I just want to kiss you.
No.
Do it.
No.
Get on your knees and beg. Say master, please love me forever.
Master, please?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm not I Dream of
Do
Jeannie.
it. Say master.
Master?
Say God, please. Do it. Say God.
God.
Please. Say God, kiss me.
God, kiss me.
Say master, kiss
Master.
me. And what if only if you get on your knees? Get on your knees right now.
Are you out of your fucking
No,
mind?
just do it real fast.
Not
on your
even.
knees.
There's not enough money in the world that can get
Seriously?
me on.
I'm gonna go for her now.
No, you're not.
She's my new girl. Only if you beg. If you want me to stay, you
What am
gotta
I
get on your
begging?
knees.
I'm not getting on my knees. Go find another girl. There's a million of them.
Do it.
What?
She won't get on her knees. She wants you to do it first. Can you get on your
Is
knees
there like
first?
something very wrong with me?
There. No, you do it. I'll totally kiss you forever and ever if you do it.
I'm not. What do you want me to do?
The knees have to touch the floor. Just do it. And beg. Say, master, I love you.
Yapping?
Okay, well, you can go now. I don't like you now. If you didn't do it, I would have liked you. I would never like a girl who gets on her knees. You're like a little puppet that you want to control.
No.
It is. You are. You're nothing. Go on, puppet. Say I'm a puppet. Say it again.
I'm a puppet.
The last thing you should be very aware of, when vibing with a girl, and ultimately all throughout the interaction, is placing yourself in a position of authority. Okay, taking charge of the interaction, being the fucking boss, placing the responsibility on your shoulders, and ultimately directing where the interaction is going to go. Okay, don't make the mistake of just going in and being like, you know what? I'm enjoying these good reactions. I'm enjoying talking to this girl. The validation, like, oh, external stimulus. Let's let her take over. Like, go on, girl. Talk. Be the boss. I just want to be here for the ride and bask in the validation. Because if you do that, it's never going to lead towards sex. Okay, remember, as we covered before, girls will never risk seeming like a slut. Okay, never, ever. And if you're like, you know what, here, you decide where this interaction goes, even if she wants to sleep with you, she won't be able to move it in that direction because she'll risk seeming like a slut. Okay, so you have to be the boss. You have to be the one who's leading, both verbally and physically. You're the one who's in charge of the fucking interaction, and it's important that you place yourself in that position of authority. So how do you do it? Now, similar to the previous concepts, this is something that should just naturally happen. If you just go in, you set the fucking rhythm, okay? Like, you're the one who's doing, you're like that ship who's like, you know what? Get the fuck out of the way. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. You get her to react to you. You're on your purpose and path. She joins along for the ride, and you're just naturally pumping your state through your own actions, by being self-amused. If you do that, it's naturally going to happen. Okay, you're going to be the boss. She's going to be reacting to you. You're going to be the one in charge of the interaction. But again, there are ways to amplify that as well. The first way is verbally leading the interaction. Now, this can be done in the tonality, like the way that you say what you say, or what you say in terms of the content itself. Now, when we talk about tonality, as we previously covered, you want to be speaking in that breaking rapport type of way, where your voice goes down at the end. Instead of being like, hey, you're like, hey, how's it going? Cool. Okay, like, it's just very commanding. Like, come here, what's your name? Oh, cool, I'm Julian, nice to meet you. Okay, not like, oh, hey, what's your name? Come here, I'm Julian, nice to meet you. Okay, like, none of that shit. Breaking rapport, tonality. Now, in terms of placing yourself in a position of authority, you can take this a little bit further and ultimately just order and boss the girl around. Instead of being like, you know what, what's your name? You could even be like, tell me your name. Just like, boom. Tell me your name. Ask me my name. Tell me where you're from. Ask me where I'm from. Just like, bang, do this, do this, do this. I'm the boss, you follow my lead. Okay, you should view yourself as like, look, I'm the fucking CEO, you're the employee. Okay, tell me this, give me the fucking answer. You doing your job? Good. Okay, like that's the frame that you should be coming from. Now, don't just do this, okay? Like, don't walk up to a girl and be like, tell me this, da 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 da. Or she's gonna be like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? Okay, like, again, too much of something is always bad, but it is important to sometimes, sprinkle in those little orders just to remind her, like, look, I'm taking the responsibility for this interaction. Don't worry, follow my lead. You don't have to, worry about being like a little slut. I'm the boss here, I'm the CEO, you are the employee. Okay, so this is in the tonality, the way that you say things. A simple exercise to get used to doing this, if you're not used to bossing a girl around, especially if you're new, you're like, oh my God, girls, and you're like freaking out going up. Who the fuck are you to just start bossing her around? Just do, a couple approaches where, for the first 30 seconds, just go full ordering mode. Okay, that's like a great exercise. First 30 seconds, you're only allowed to order her. So you can be like, say hi to me. Cool. Ask me my name, tell me your name, and just order, 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 order. Now this will probably not go anywhere. Okay, I mean it might, but oftentimes the girl's gonna be like, oh, what the fuck, because it's a little too much, but it is a great way to kind of desensitize yourself to really, taking responsibility and really leading verbally in the tonality. So practice that as a nice simple exercise. In terms of what you say, like the content itself, there are a few different things that you can do. The first would simply be cutting her threads. Okay, if she starts talking about something that's not really adding to the fun, that's not moving the interaction forward, you don't have to listen to what she has to say. You don't have to go down that little path. If the girl's like, listen, my hamster died last week and I'm so sad because he was my best friend, and oh my God, my hamster, my hamster, my hamster. If you're like, fuck, I don't give a shit about hamsters, like why do I want to listen to the sad story about your hamster dying? You don't have to. Okay, all you have to do is just cut the thread and introduce a new topic. Be like, you know what? Fuck that. We're in a club, let's have fun. Or like, fuck that. We're having coffee, let's have fun having coffee. Let's talk about clowns, or whatever the fuck you want to introduce. You don't have to be all like, oh, I'm so sorry if you don't feel like it. Okay, remember, it's your reality, your rules. If something is bringing the interaction down, if something is not moving it forward, cut the fucking thread. And this here will also again amplify you are the boss. It's like, that's not good enough. Cut. That's good enough. I'll tolerate it. Go on, talk about that. That's not good enough. Cut. You're the boss, she's trying to impress you, and this also links into making the girl chase, because now she's like, oh my God, I gotta impress this guy. Is this good enough? Is this good enough? She's reacting to you, she's chasing you, she's trying to impress you, and this is good. Okay, so this is one of the ways of verbally doing it in terms of the content itself. Another way is taking on the teacher frame, where instead of being like, I am curious, I am the examiner, now you are the teacher. You're like, that's very interesting, little girl, little student. Let me teach you something about what you just said that you didn't know. Okay, for example, if a girl's like, you know what, I just came back from Italy. You're like, oh, really? I was actually in Rome. Did you do this? Or did you know that blah, 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 blah? Okay, like you take what she said, and instead of like letting her have the topic, you make it into your own and you expand on it. You're like, look, I know a lot more than you. Here's some more information. Okay, I'm the boss. I'm outside your league. I've experienced a lot more. I'm the teacher. I'm in a position of authority. You are the student. Now, again, very important. Don't overdo this or you become like the annoying guy who's like, you know what? Did you know that? Like, just do it at times. But this is also a subtle way of really amplifying that you are the boss. And the last way, and this is a little bit more subtle, you basically tell her what she's feeling. Okay, now you can do this, for example, when you kiss a girl, say you kiss her, you pull back, you can be like, you know what? You so love me. Just like you love me. You so love me. You are so fucking in love with me. And because you previously placed yourself in that position of authority, through some of the other ways that we just discussed, she will most likely follow that lead. Okay, she'll be like, oh my God, the kiss, you love me. I love him. Okay, and it'll kind of amplify that frame where, look, you are in love with me, you are chasing me, I am the sex-worthy man of your dreams. Okay, so there's one way there.
You still love me?
So much.
Another way could be like, you know what, say she does something that's a little bit adventurous, you can be like, you're adventurous, I really like that about you. Okay, and because again, you're in the position of authority, when you're like, you are adventurous, I like that about you, she's gonna feel good. She's like, oh shit, he likes that I'm adventurous. And now you kind of set that frame where she has to live up to being adventurous. So when you're about to pull, for example, you're like, oh, come this way. And she's like, oh, I don't know. You're like, oh, I thought you were adventurous. Oh, I guess I am adventurous. Okay, and then she'll more likely, go with you. Now, the other way of leading the interaction is to physically do so. Now, you can do this just by practicing the physical moves that we previously discussed. Okay, if you're going up to a girl, you're spinning her, you're hugging her, you're picking her up, you're just being physical, you are establishing that you're at the cause, not at the effect, that you're doing. It's like, I am doing my shit, I'm on my purpose and path, you react to me, you submit. Ultimately, I'm not waiting for permission, I'm not calibrating before, I'm calibrating after. Instead, I am physically dominating you. Okay, so just by being physical, it's like, look, I am the fucking boss, I am in a position of authority. Okay, so that's just very, simple, logical, basic way. Now, if you want to take this further, you can also do this by physically moving her around the environment. Okay, it's very rare that when I'm talking to a girl, I'm just standing in one place the entire time. Okay, this almost never happens. I'm never like, you know what, talking right here for like an entire hour. Okay, I'm constantly moving the girl around instead. Okay, now remember when we talked about togetherness, like building comfort, the more environment she's in with you, the more the environments are changing, the more you and her remain the same. It's like you and her together as one, but the more you move her around as well, the more you reinforce that, look, I am the fucking boss, okay? Just come over here with me. Okay, now come over here with me. I am leading. You follow my lead. Like, you don't have to be held accountable. Just walk over here. I'm the one pulling you here. Okay, you're like, you know what? Come, bang, and just drag her somewhere. And you can also build compliance that way. If you're talking to a girl and you're like, listen, move 2 feet to the right with me. Just come over here. Say she agrees to moving 2 feet to the right. Once she agreed to do so, she'll probably be more likely to agree moving another 2 feet and another 2 feet than if you had suggested, say, moving 4 feet or 6 feet in the first place. Okay, so you can kind of build it up that way. Okay, but physically moving her around, important as fuck. Start making that a habit. As soon as you say hi, just start bouncing around. Different environments. Okay, you are in a position of authority. You are physically leading. So we've covered everything you need to know in terms of vibing. Okay, like don't forget to switch from that 90%, 10% to a more 50-50, okay, where you're both reacting off of each other. You're not just doing, like drug hit, okay, like slow it the fuck down. Don't make the girl overdose. Make it more sustainable, okay, like make that switch. Then build comfort, okay, like focus on togetherness, reinforcing that you and her are now a single entity. Qualify the girl, okay, let her know why she's special, let her know why she deserves such a sex-worthy guy, and it's not just because you want to fuck her, okay, and you're not putting on a little front, it's not like a little trick, it's actually real. Get her to chase you, okay, like do those little pushes, stack the stripping of validation, make her invest, okay, we covered all the different forms of investment, like the investment hoops that you can stack on to the stripping of validation, and overall, don't forget to place yourself in a position of authority.